coach comes to you in the community. They're able to help with budgeting, they're able to help with daily living skills, hygiene, anger management, really anything you can name. Social skills is a huge one. We do a lot of that in the schools, anger management in the schools, helping you with making friends even.
Gotcha.
And pay attention in class. That's something that we can help redirect and help teachers as well. So
Gotcha.
all the things, skills coaching, it can just go on and on.
Gotcha.
We're just really helping them live longer, healthier lives.
Yeah, I gotcha. So you're really talking about Bowen Center provides options, opportunities, skill sets, etc. for those that are young and those that are at the kind of final third of their life, if you will, and that whole gamut. So again, no matter age, no matter ability to pay, walk in, get the assistance you need, etc., which is cool. So let's talk about that beautiful new facility that's at the corner of State Road 205 and US 30. I think you did mention the number, but what kind of investment was made in the facility, and explicitly what kind of new services does the facility now provide that you couldn't provide catty corner from where we're sitting right now?
Sure. So one of the reasons we built is because we had outgrown this facility. We really moved into that federally qualified health center, and what that means is that primary care. So to put primary care in this building, it just wasn't an option. And so the executives at Bowen really decided that they wanted to make that investment in Whitley County, in the community, and in the patients.
Gotcha.
And not that the patients didn't appreciate this office down here, but they love the new building.
Well, I mean, everybody loves new, right? I mean, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So really neat opportunity to, one, add that service, but then also just show our patients that they're really at the heart of what we do and that they deserve this facility.
Gotcha. And I can remember having conversations with the executive team in Bowen Center, and the cool thing about that is I don't think our facility was supposed to be one of the first built, but we kind of got bumped to the top of the list.
We did.
Which is cool, which again shows you the investment that Bowen Center has made here in Whitley County, and specifically in Columbia City. That's the cool thing, is when you look at the footprint of this building versus that building, you look at the nature type setting of that building versus the downtown setting. I'm sure there's a lot of things that talking about mental health and talking about the peaceful environment and all those kind of things. I'm sure that there are a huge amount of benefits of being out kind of with the pond that you have out front and the woods in the back and all that kind of stuff. So and you're a stone's throw from Morses Park too, right? So so that's a really cool thing. If businesses or organizations wanted to do a tour of the building, could they just get a hold of you and do that?
They can just walk in, actually.
Just walk in.
Yep. We've been doing tours since January, since we opened.
Nice.
So anyone is welcome to come and ask for a tour, and we will most certainly make that happen.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So my next question is, what else do we need to know about the Bowen Center? But I kind of a follow-up to that would also be, how big is the Bowen Center? Because we know about it here locally.
Sure.
But it has a very big footprint.
Yes. I think the last time I heard we were in 28 counties.
Okay.
Now, some of them offer skills coaching only, and they don't have brick and mortars.
Gotcha.
But we do have 10 counties that have brick and mortars, and that's from Indianapolis all the way up.
Yeah.
To
So I was going to say, I know that, it's been a couple of years now, but a couple of years ago, I went and did a tour of the rehabilitation facility over in Fort Wayne, where they actually help individuals with their drug addictions or chemical addictions or things like that. And you could just see the kind of footprint of Bowen Center. And we know the need is growing, but the fact that the Bowen Center is growing with that need, providing more services for the residents, I think is a very, very positive thing. So what is, you may have said it already, but what is your staff size out there? put you on the spot.
We are close to 50
You're
at this
close to
point.
50 at
Yes.
our facility.
At this one.
Oh,
Yep,
wow.
At
Very
this
cool.
facility here. And that is, both sides of the primary care along with the mental health.
With the mental health.
Yep.
Wow.
And so when we moved out there, we had 8 therapists on staff, and shortly here we'll be up to 11.
Wow.
We have 15 offices to fill, so
Yeah.
4 more.
So you got room to
that's-
grow.
Yeah, there's my pitch.
Room to grow in a year after.
Right. Yep.
Well, very cool. What is on the horizon for Bowen Center? If you can say, is there additional services you're looking at expanding in the building? Is there additional things that our residents should know about what you guys are planning to do for the Bowen Center?
Well, if you have had a tour, you've noticed that we have a shell space. And so I'm not sure exactly how many square feet that is in there, but it is large enough to have maybe a dentistry, optometry, more group spaces.
Yeah.
If we need more therapy rooms, there's room to add on more therapy
Yeah.
rooms in there. And so that's definitely on the horizon. And then just Bowen-wide, we're looking at our 5 catchment areas. So we're the CMHC in 5 different counties.
Yeah.
So we've got Warsaw, it's not too far away, Marshall County beyond that, Huntington, Wabash, and then us.
Gotcha.
And so you'll see these look-alike facilities
Yeah.
in all of those in the next 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, I think I just heard of one being announced.
Yes,
Is it Warsaw?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Warsaw.
So.
Actually, Marshall County will open here in November.
Okay.
Their new building,
Gotcha.
and then on to Wabash and Huntington after
Okay.
that. So maybe not even 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big goals.
Yeah, I was going to say, but again, growing with the need for sure. I mentioned it earlier, but if you have questions of Misto or about the Bowen Center, go ahead and put them on the chat. I'm happy to answer or have her answer this and address those as we kind of go forward. So, so again, anything else that people should know about the Bowen Center? Anything that you maybe want to reiterate, or just again, I try to cover everything, but if
Sure.
there's other things that you think it's important for citizens and others to know about the Bowen Center.
Yeah, actually, I had heard a rumor that some people thought that you had to have a mental health diagnosis to access the primary care side,
Okay.
and that's not true.
That's not true.
Nope, you can, sprain your ankle, schedule an appointment. Now, if you have to go to the ER, please go to the ER.
Yeah, go to the ER if it's
Yes.
if it's an emergency situation, go to the ER.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if it's something you can schedule an appointment for primary care, you do not need a mental health diagnosis to do that.
Yeah.
The other thing that I want to mention is, we're really here for our patients, but we couldn't do that without some of our partnerships. So I'd be remiss to not mention our community justice partners, the schools, and then other nonprofit organizations around the county. We've just ran into so many neat partnerships, and it just makes the community healthier overall.
Yeah.
So
I just think it's so neat that we have the kind of facility that we have, again, that we were kind of first on the list. The fact that we have, a growing staff at the Bowen Center that helps address mental health issues in our community, that is addressing the physical health side, especially for those that maybe don't have as much ability to pay, kind of fills a gap in the community, if you will. And so I think those are all really positive things. And so how can people get a hold of you or a hold of the Bowen Center if they would like to ask questions, or certainly to schedule an appointment?
Sure.
Yeah.
The easiest way is to call our 800 number, which is 1-800-342-5653. Also, you can walk in for services. There is, I'm sure it's hard to miss, we have a huge billboard.
Yes.
And so there's also information on that if you're stopped at a light. But I did want to mention one other thing. We've started an education series.
Okay.
So once a month we have an open, anyone can come, it's free. We do it right there in our lobby, and we address some of the measures that we're looking to help decrease, like vaping is one. I believe in September we're doing a vaping education series. We did a walk with a doc type thing that helps with healthy eating and healthy weight management. And
Is the vaping thing more geared toward parents, toward kids, toward?
It is during the day, so
Okay.
kids should be in school.
Should be in school.
But parents can come and
Sure.
adults can come.
Sure.
And it's just resources and ways that if you're ready to stop,
Yeah.
it's kind of that
Yeah.
kickstart for you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, very cool. Well, thanks, Mista.
Thank
You have answered everybody's questions because we have 0 questions coming across. So
Wow.
congratulations, you
Thank
covered
you.
all the bases necessary.
Thank you.
But if you do have questions, obviously you can contact the Bowen Center here in Columbia City. You can also stop in. I'm sure that. One thing we didn't talk about. What's your hours out there at the facility?
Good question. We are open 8 to 7 Monday through Thursday and 8 to 5 on Fridays.
Okay.
Yep.
So ability to if you're working during the day,
Yep.
Monday through Thursday, you're still open all the way till 7.
Till
You
7.
said, right?
Yep.
So that's awesome. That's
Yep.
awesome.
But please call
Yeah.
anytime to that 800 number that I gave. That is a 24/7 number. And so if you're feeling like you need
Yep.
help, we have after hours that you can call that number
Yes.
and seek help too.
Yes, absolutely. If you are ever in a position where you just feel hopeless, or
Mhm.
especially if you have concerns about hurting yourself or things like that,
Yeah.
we want you to get the help that you need. Bowen Center is here for you to close that gap for you, to provide a resource, to provide someone to talk to, a listening ear, and wraparound services, I know, in lots of ways as well. So get in touch with Bowen Center if you, or frankly anybody that you love or you're friends with or whatever, that they need those kind of services and are just not sure where to start. It's a good place to start. It's the Bowen Center. So thanks, Mista.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it as
Yeah,
always.
thank
Very
you so
much.
much.
Appreciate it. And we'll definitely continue our partnerships as we have for a long
Absolutely.
time. So thanks, Mista.
Let me know if there are any questions.
Yes.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and do as we normally do, which is touch on a bunch of different other issues. I have a lot of recap for past issues like Eagle Park and the trail and other things that we are going to be addressing here shortly. So, but I do want to thank Mista for coming in. I will tell you, I made a mistake earlier, which is I did not press the record button. So some of Mista's recording I don't think happened. So I apologize. That's my fault. So you can write me nasty grams on email if you want about that. But we did get it started at least somewhat during the interview. So with that being said, I'm going to hit on, let's start with Eagle Park because that's the one that probably I get most questions about is regarding where we're at with Eagle Park. So pickleball courts, the asphalt ceiling is supposed to be occurring very soon. Those courts are basically done minus the ceiling, the kind of top coat, if you will, and the striping and all that kind of stuff. But that should be happening very soon here. Most of the sidewalks in that area have been poured. The swing structure is mostly complete. That's the pergola or the trellis, if you will, with swings as a part of it, bench swings or family swings, if you will. Some people have called it the musical swings. And so those are almost done, except we are missing the actual swing portion of that. Now, I think there's some minor tweaks to that, but generally speaking, we are almost there with the swing set. Now, the skate park is tentatively scheduled to occur in November. That is really based on the contractor. There's only a handful of contractors that actually do build skate parks across the country. They're kind of a specialty niche, if you will. And so our skate park builder, their name is Hunger. It's Hunger Skate Parks. And so they are planning tentatively to be here in maybe November to kind of do the construction of that project. Again, I think last I knew they were out in like maybe Utah or somewhere like that. But generally speaking, that is still on schedule, generally still on schedule, still planning to be done in the November timeframe. But the rest of it should be happening and being completed very, very, very shortly. Our next level trails grant, so again, that's the trail to connect, let's say Blue River Trail South out to the high school property. We finally got NDOT approval, as mentioned, I think at the last meeting. We are bidding the project, I think, on September 11th with bid opening happening October 22nd. So we're getting very close to that project commencing with the bidding and all that kind of stuff happening. We are anticipating the construction will occur all through next year. Should be completed by the end of next year as we have written the bid up. So we're hoping that the extended construction schedule gives us at least a decent price on the bid, but we're also trying to get it done by the end of next year. Obviously, preferably if we can get it done earlier than that for school and all that kind of stuff, we will try to do that. But ultimately, we want to get it done by the end of next year. As always, if you have questions, shoot them on the messenger, not messenger. I'm sorry. Put them in the comments here, and I will try to answer those as they come up. If you're on Facebook. State Road 9 bridge construction. Again, we still have about 2.5 months left. I know that's a major pain for everybody. I'm really sorry, but we are 2.5 months left, so we're almost halfway now, which is great. They do project that the project will be completed by the end of November. I anticipate it maybe earlier than that because the weather has been really good for construction. We have seen that with the Westgate project. We've seen that with other areas where, because we've had a lot of dry weather, that we've been able to accomplish a lot through that time frame. So expect that to happen. I have gotten comments, and I've addressed this in past meetings or past lunch with the mayor videos, but I'm happy to do it again, which is the railroad crossing at Line Street. Yes, I know it's in bad shape. Obviously, there's nothing we can do about that right now because there's so many people using it. But we do anticipate that area will be refurbished and made better when we do the trail. And so the trail is expected to go next year. We are expecting that will be a part of it. There is a trail crossing that will happen at the railroad tracks, which is why we anticipate the area there will be addressed. So just want to let you know, if you've driven over the Line Street railroad tracks and you're angry about it, you have every right to be angry about it. The road is not in great shape, but it is something where we are trying there's a plan in place to get it done. Obviously, we can't do it while there's construction. So, and again, the railroad crossing in and of itself is not our jurisdiction. It's actual the railroads. Just a digression for about 5 seconds here, and maybe 30 seconds. Railroads were here before our city streets were. And we're constantly reminded by the railroad companies that they were here first, and so it's our streets going over their railroad tracks, not the other way around. So we work pretty well with our railroads here in Columbia City. I'm pretty happy with our communication and all that kind of good stuff. But it does take some time to get things done. So I want you to know it's not lost on me that we need to fix those. We need to fix the area around those railroad tracks. There is a plan in place. Okay, that was more than 30 seconds. Sorry. Westgate Phase 2. That's the Buddale and Lawrence Drive areas. If you live out there, you know that pavement is starting to go down, which is great. Asphalt's starting to go down. The concrete curbs are in. I think sidewalks are in. I think. Drainage is in. So we're actually doing really, really well. I think if I remember right, the schedule is showing by the end of September we should be substantially complete, not final completion, but substantially complete. Obviously, when we dig things up, we have obviously dirt, and we have seeding and strawing of grass seed and things like that we still have to do. But that is kind of working its way through there. So thank you for your patience, for those of you that have been out there. The reason why, first of all, we are actually slightly we're on, if not slightly ahead of schedule. So if you do see areas out there or times in which you don't see contractors working, it's not because they've forgotten us. It's not because of anything like that. It's because of the scheduling, and some things have to wait in order to cure before they can do other steps. So just want to let you know that is still fully on our radar and all that kind of good stuff. The Pell study, the Planning and Environmental Linkage Study for US 30, is still continuing. That is an Indiana Department of Transportation project. PropelUS30.com, PROPELUS30.com is the place to get information. We are awaiting the release of the Level 3 assessment. Now, not to not to beat a dead horse here, but level 1 assessment was about what options for each of the intersections should be evaluated and determined. Things like freeway, things like J-turns, things like roundabouts, etc., as well as things that were thrown out, like bypasses or adding additional lanes. So that was level 1 assessment. Level 2 assessment was, let's start looking at these intersections and what options make sense in those intersections. So that has been done. You can find that full report on the propelus30.com website. So now we're looking toward the third, or the level 3 assessment. And the level 3 assessment is really focused on segments of the highway. So I anticipate you're going to find multiple intersection segments as a part of this level 3. So for instance, on US 30, we may see this level 3 assessment be focused on, a portion, the segmentation, if you will. So we may see 205, 9, 109, and Armstrong and Lincoln Way as a segment. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we'll see 205 and 300 and 400 and 500 and 600 as a segment. I'm not sure. I don't know where those numbers are going to end up being and which intersections are going to be a part of it. But what I will tell you is that I think you're going to see segments along US 30, and those segments are going to have, you're probably going to have a couple of different plans or a couple of different options for each of those segments. So let's focus on just 9, 109, Armstrong, and Lincoln Way in Columbia City, okay? No offense, 205, we're going to put you on the side for a moment and just focus on this for a moment, okay? So for 9, 109, Armstrong and Lincoln Way, maybe it's a six, maybe they'll have maybe 3 options, right? One will be a freeway. How do we handle it if we decide to turn 30 into a freeway? And what is that going to look like for those intersections? There's probably going to be another option, which is what I will call the alternatives, if you will, or the maybe cheaper version, which is, J-turns or, right in, right out options or things like that aren't necessarily full freeway, but they are alternative intersections to what we currently have. Or we may have a completely another option that has maybe an interchange and an overpass, but then right in, right out, or may have J-turns or things like that. So we're not 100% sure. I can promise you, though, there will be an option that is a do-nothing option, and that is a part of the mandate of these plans, which is if we do nothing, what will be the harm, if you will. So that's how they kind of judge each of the options off of each other. So I say all that to say that we are waiting to see what the level 3 assessment is going to look like, and that full study is supposed to be completed by the end of this year. I will tell you, level 3 assessment was expected to be out by now. So I'm going to anticipate that it probably will be delayed or bumped into early next year, the total Pell study being completed. But I don't know that for a fact. Don't take that as gospel. Just know that I do anticipate that because the level 3 is coming in a little bit later than expected, we're probably going to see the totality of the Pell study be pushed back a little bit. So, one last thing on US 30, and then I'll move on. I know that they did have a meeting scheduled at the library, but here's the thing I really want to make a note of. Last month, I think it was like July 15th or something like that, we had a summit, if you will, or a rally, if you will, for US 30 in Warsaw. And a couple of things that I heard that I think are really important for you to hear. First is that from a safety perspective, and again, these are things you already know, so so this is not going to come as a surprise, this part at least, which is safety is a critical factor. We have some major safety deficiencies on US 30 that need to be addressed sooner rather than later. We know those major deficiencies are typically within the city limits of Columbia City and within the city limits of Warsaw and within the city limits of Plymouth, as well as some of the city limits of Fort Wayne, right? But we also know there are those intersections along the way, like County Line Road and like 500 or 600, right, on our area, or going out to I don't know, like 400 west, right, by the church. And so there are areas in the rural segments that are still going to need help and still need love from a public safety standpoint. But the big traffic volume and traffic hazard issues are within Columbia City, within Warsaw, within a portion of Fort Wayne, as well as Plymouth. So those are the areas you're really going to see probably some focus on, especially. But the second component that kind of came out of that meeting was that this is a huge economic project for the state, for Northeast Indiana, and frankly for all of our residents. We had two major companies that are along US 30, Steel Dynamics in Whitley County, as well as Zimmer Biomet in Warsaw. And what was so crystal clear from both of them was that US 30 will determine our economic future. If NDOT doesn't do anything with US 30 or does minor changes to US 30, our economic opportunities will be limited. We have heard from Steel Dynamics that they said that Northern Indiana and the state of Indiana as a whole has missed out on billions with a B, billions of dollars of investment because of the lack of investment in US 30. We heard from Zimmer Biomet that they can't make a long-term commitment to Warsaw, to the city of Warsaw, and to Kosciuszko County because they don't know what the future of US 30 means or is planned, right? They can't trust in what the future is going to be because they don't have a plan there's no plan of action right now. And so I think those are big, major things. When you think about how much economic activity Steel Dynamics and Zimmer Biomet, as well as other businesses, by the way, along the whole corridor, how much economic generation is created, how many jobs are paid for, how many salaries are paid for, how many homes are paid for effectively through those jobs. I think it's a really glaring, major issue that cannot be ignored by the state, and I think that's really the important part. So I will get off US 30 for right now, but if you have questions about that or anything else, go ahead and throw them in the comments. I'm happy to answer those. An update on our test kitchen, or what we're now calling kind of the shared kitchen. We are still working on the programming and logistics and the agreements and all those kind of things, but we are moving forward in that. We found that there is definitely interest there. There's definitely opportunity. And so we are really hopeful that we can start having some major movement on that program. So that's exciting. What else do I got here? Okay, last couple things. Sign up for the rave notifications we've talked about before, but sign up for notifications. You can go to our city website, columbiacity.net, and you can get those rave notifications. You can sign up for whatever ones you want. If you want to know about the Aquatic Center, you want to know about city government meetings, you want to know about water main breaks, you want to know about emergencies, etc., sign up for those, and then you can sign up for whatever text alerts or email alerts that you'd like. There actually is a voice feature as well, meaning that we can send you a voicemail, but it's an AI, I think it's AI generated, or at the very least machine generated. So I would suggest the text alerts, but it is what it is. The next limb pickup is the week of September 3rd. If you're counting, that is next week. This is Friday. I'm recording this. So again, next week is limb pickup. After next week, we will have one more limb pickup in the city of Columbia City. That is October 7th. That is the last week we are doing limb pickup. Why? Great question. Because we have leaf pickup that happens right after that. And so we move from the chipper machines to the leaf pickup machines. And so once we get into leaf season, we can't really stop. It is a constant thing where we run the city once a week, and some of those weeks are light, and some of those weeks are really, really heavy, depending on temperature, depending on rain, depending on windstorms, etc. So if you want your limbs picked up, get them out this weekend. This is Labor Day weekend, so get them out Labor Day weekend for this week's pickup, or save them for the first full week of October 7th, that week. And then if you have leaves, those will start being picked up sometime mid to late October. I don't have an actual date on that, but usually it's based on the season, and typically it's the last week of October, but it kind of fluctuates. Okay, lots of other things happening. I still don't have any comments, so thank you for that. But if you have anything, shoot it my way. City board and commission meetings are now being live streamed on city Facebook page and then being put on YouTube. We're looking at maybe some alternate plans, if you will. Maybe we just stream it through YouTube. I'm not sure, but right now at least we are working toward, or we are streaming city board and commission meetings through our city's Facebook page, City of Columbia City, Indiana Government. That is our Facebook page. Outside of this specific program, everything else is on the city's page. I mentioned it in the last meeting. I will mention it yet again, and that is that we are doing some utility rate adjustments right now. We are doing the gradual yearly adjustments that we started last year. And the reason for that is because we're trying really hard not to have monster hits on the bill, that it's slow and progressive along the way, if you will. But I will let you know that that did pass council. Again, I support it because just like everybody else, there's higher costs for everything, and we have to remain solvent with our utilities. We are not getting rich off of utilities by any means. We are trying to remain solvent. So, long story short on that is, when that process, Utility Rate Advisory Board, made up of 5 citizens. Those citizens review, make a recommendation to the council. The council takes a recommendation and decides what to do from there. In this case, the council accepted the Utility Rate Advisory Board's recommendation. So here you're adding so about $4.60 for sewer, 71 cents for water, 61 cents for stormwater, about $6 for electric. That's a monthly average bill, if you will. That is expected to start in November. I know nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to hear it. You will see in my newsletter that I think is coming out next week. You will see my kind of discussion of this. You will see the reasoning and rationale behind it. But obviously, we're getting hit hard by federal policy changes, especially on the electric side, kind of some of the green energy mandates, reducing the coal and other greenhouse emitting sources of power, greenhouse gas emitting. Basically, everything we buy is up 20 to 40% or more. But our utility rates are really only rising roughly about the 2 or 3% range. So we're trying really hard to be thoughtful and cognizant of that. Trying to be, again, really careful about what we do in regards to that, but make it a slow drip rather than a big congratulations, you got a turd in a paper bag lit on fire on your doorstep. We're trying to stay away from that. That's probably uncouth of me, but that's how it feels, and I get that. I do hear you very much so. Do you have a comment or a question come in? Progress. Yes, I did address that, Christopher. Main Street Bridge. I think that they, if anything, the Main Street question is about the Main Street Bridge and their progress. I think, if anything, they're probably slightly ahead of schedule. I would bet you they're at least on schedule, if not ahead at this point. So, good question. Appreciate that one. The other thing I wanted to talk about is city budgets. So I do have, my plan is that at the next Lunch with the Mayor meeting video, which is on October 4th, so mark your calendars, October 4th is the next Lunch with the Mayor. I will be talking about the city budget for next year. I will be talking about what I've proposed to the council. It will be still in discussion, I think, in the council session at that point. Budget comes up at the first meeting in September, and then there's a month delay, and then the first meeting in October. Hopefully it'll be approved by the council, but nevertheless, I will talk about kind of the ins and outs of our city budget at the next Lunch with the Mayor meeting. So if you're really interested in that, make sure that you put that on your calendar for October 4th. Okay, I'm going to go to calendar items, and then I think at that point, if you have any other questions, I will try to answer those at that point. So tomorrow, August 31st, I am going to be participating in opening of a free little library at Every Kid's Dreamland. I believe that was a Girl Scout project, and so we're excited about doing that opening. That is at noon at Every Kid's Dreamland. We have a City Hall. City Hall is going to be closed for Labor Day, obviously, on Monday. First Friday in downtown Columbia City is happening next Friday, and so that will be a Touch a Truck event. However, We will also have Movie on the Square next Friday. So, come to First Friday, 6 to 9 p.m., and then around 9 o'clock-ish, we will have our Movie on the Square, which the Columbia City Connect and my office kind of partner together on. And it will be the movie Elemental, Disney's Elemental. So again, 9 p.m.-ish, bring your, you can bring lawn chairs, you can bring your, I'll get it, your blanket, if you will. And if for some reason it rains, which I hope it doesn't, but if for some reason it rains, we may either, we may cancel or we may have an alternate location. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we're going to say it's not going to rain. It's going to be good. So, September 7th is Tire Amnesty Day at the Whitley County Solid Waste District. That is from 7 a.m. to noon. There's a certain amount of tires you can bring, all those kind of things. I will try to post that information on my Facebook page next week to kind of let everybody know what that is. But that's obviously that's next Saturday. And so that is funded, I believe, through a grant. So if you have excess tires that are not usable and you want to get rid of them and you are a Whitley County resident, then you can drop them off at the Whitley County Recycle Center or the Solid Waste District, 7 a.m. to noon, and there is some criteria in there I'll try to get out. The Columbia City Arts Commission is having their artist studio tour as well next Saturday. So if you have an interest in that, they will have lots of artists from around the area. Some are going to be at their studios. Some of them will be downtown Columbia City. So again, CC Arts Commission artist studio tour happening next Saturday. Board of Works and City Council meetings are on September 10th, and then September 13th will be the homecoming parade. It's also a homecoming football game, obviously. And so we'll have the homecoming parade. I think it's supposed to be starting 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish. I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's typical, starting at Eagle Park, going down Whitley Street, turning on Van Buren, going around the courthouse square, then back to Whitley. So that is September 13th. September 14th, Seeds of Support Dinner by Giving Gardens, 5 to 8:30 p.m. I think you need to register for that. September 16th, September 16th, Wayne TV, Channel 15, will be broadcasting live from Columbia City. We're excited to have them to show off our community. So September 16th, that afternoon, evening, make sure you tune into Wayne TV because they are broadcasting live from Columbia City. September 21st is the Great Lakes Shrine Association. The Shrine Association, they're having a convention parade. Now, this doesn't happen very often, so this is a very kind of a special occasion. It will be taking the exact same route as Old Settlers Parade. So, from my understanding, it's going to be a pretty good sized parade. If you like the Shrine horses, the horse patrol, if you will. If you like the mini carts or the mini go-karts, the go-karts that they have, things like that. I think there's going to be motorcycles. There's going to be a lot of things in this parade, not to mention the local stuff. So I would highly suggest that starts at noon on September 21st. So I would suggest being a part of that. Put it on your calendar to be on the normal parade route, if you will, from North Street on Main, from North Street down to Ellsworth. We will be having the Great Lakes Shrine Association Convention Parade that day. Noon is the start time, so please come out for that. And again, it's special that we get to host it. Could have been in lots of other areas, could have been in Fort Wayne, etc. But Jerry Freewalt and some of the others that are the leadership, if you will, wanted to have it in Columbia City. So let's get out and support them for that. It'll be a great parade, 100% worth it. Should be beautiful weather, September 21st, etc. Let's see, what else here? Humane Shelter 5K Run Walk will also be on September 21st. You can check out the Humane Shelter's website, I think, for that information, or their Facebook page. September 26th is the Babe Mini Golf Outing at Pages Crossing, so that will be happening. That's always a great event, and so get out for that. You do need to register for that. October 3rd, there is going to be tentatively a candlelight ceremony remembering suicide victims. That's going to be, I believe, at the Community Foundation of Whitley County building. I think probably a lot of us have been touched by individuals or have been impacted by individuals who have unfortunately committed suicide, and this is an opportunity to come out and I guess grieve and remember and really support each other. So again, that's tentatively scheduled for October 3rd at 7 p.m. at the Community Foundation building. I will be there. I think I'm going to be giving a short talk or speech or something. So October 4th is the next lunch with the mayor. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be talking about city budgets. So grab your pillow and a blanket, and I'll be happy to talk through the whole city budget with you. October 4th is also First Friday in downtown Columbia City. That is the last First Friday of the year. That will be Oktoberfest. So as always, it's always a great time to kind of get all the fall vibes, if you will. October 14th is Board of Works and City Council. That is a change date. Typically we have it on October 8th or the second Tuesday of the month, but because many of us are at a Cities and Towns conference in Fort Wayne, we had to change that date to October 14th. So Board of Works and City Council, the October 8th date has been changed to October 14th. October 18th is the Ladies Night Out by Columbia City Connect. That's a great downtown shopping event, 6 to 9 p.m. So get that on your calendar. October 25th will be the Little Pumpkins on Parade. That's the downtown trick-or-treating around the businesses. October 25th, that's 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. The Chamber of Commerce is handling that. I expect you'll start to see more details about that event coming out soon. October 25th is also the Mother-Son Halloween Party at the 4-H Center. More information will be coming out of that very, very shortly. Anticipate seeing that coming out within the next week or two, I believe. Here's the biggest question I keep getting. When is Trick or Treat? We put it out in July. I think we put it out in August. I'll put it out again. October 26th, Trick or Treat. October 26th from 5 to 8 p.m. That is citywide Trick or Treat. October 26th, 5 to 8 p.m. Citywide Trick or Treat happening. We, again, as you remember, we made the decision to switch many years ago now to a Saturday so that lots of people can participate in that. And so October 26th, 5 to 8 p.m., Trick or Treat. November 2nd is the Veterans Marathon. That is early, but the reason because there is a conflicting event, I believe, on the following weekend, which is typically when it is. So November 2nd is the Veterans Marathon, Half Marathon, and Heroes 5K. That is happening here in downtown Columbia City. Same route, I believe, as normal. So lots of activity going to be happening in downtown that day. City Hall will be closed for Election Day on November 5th, and City Hall will be closed for Veterans Day on November 11th. So that is what I have for Lunch with the Mayor. I do have a question that came up. It says, how much longer is the construction on East Jefferson Street? So if you don't know, we are doing a major sewer project on East Jefferson Street. And basically we have very old sewer mains that are in that area. The mains are what carries when you, so when you flush the toilet, whatever comes out of that goes into your private sewer line and attaches to a sewer main. That sewer main then the sewage in it then travels to the nearest lift station, where it is usually transferred to another pipe, another sewer main, to another lift station, to another sewer main, finally to gets to the water pollution control facility or the wastewater treatment plant. So that's kind of that's how our system works. I don't have an actual date as to when the project will be completed on East Jefferson Street. I've been told by our wastewater superintendent that it's actually going pretty quickly. So I can't give you an actual date on that. I apologize, Dana. You could always obviously give a call to our wastewater superintendent, Mike Cook. He can probably give you a better date than this, but I think last I heard he said like we're within weeks of being done. So I think we're getting close on that project. They've been able to do a lot with like fusing the pipes together. So when they bore underground, they bore the lines in. They're able to get a long run in because they fuse some of those pipes together. So that's a lot of information about that, but long story short is that is, I think, coming to an end here very shortly. So September 14th, Whitley County 4-H Archery has an open tournament at the 4-H grounds. Thanks to Christopher for that. I'm assuming you can check out the 4-H Facebook page or something on that, maybe to get information. There's a question here from Alan, who said, was there a reveal on what's going in the Penguin Point property? I don't know that there's been an official reveal. I think there's been enough clues that you could potentially put it together. 5 Lakes is a business that you could probably do a Google search on and find out what they are. It is not my place to reveal, although I have been called the source of some of them revealing at different places. Frankly, I hope I didn't, cat out of the bag or anything like that. But at the end of the day, we're excited to see the transformation of that piece of property. It's sat vacant for a little while now, and I think it's a positive thing for our community. So that's probably all I'll say about that. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and shoot them my way. And I'll be happy to answer those. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I think that's all we got for today. So as always, I want to encourage you, if as Mista said, if you have things that are, if you have concerns, challenges, if you need to talk to somebody, if you feel like you're at the end of your rope or things like that, I want to really encourage you to talk to somebody, have a conversation with somebody. If you need to walk into the Bowen Center or call the Bowen Center and get a appointment, I encourage you to do that, or talk to a mental health provider in some way, shape, or form. Thanks for everything you're doing. We have had a really good summer. We're having great things that are happening in our community, and it's because we have great citizens, great businesses, great nonprofits that are all working toward the betterment of our community each and every day. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you later. Have a great, really beginning of fall, and we will see you again on October 4th, I think. So thanks everybody. Take care.